Yeah, this color is so amazing because it's new technology on the market. No other color brand has been able to do this. But what it has is melanin filler technology, which reverses melanin loss in your natural hair, which is what leads to gray. So this color here is super hydrating. It's not a permanent hair color.
Okay.
So it's going to cover 70% of your gray.
Okay.
But the remainder, that's not the 70% coverage, isn't gray. It just looks like a highlight.
Yeah, okay.
So you're going to have a dimensional cover.
Yep.
And what I've really loved experimenting with this color is that instead of doing, highlights, roots, or highlights and roots, I like to do highlights, tone at the basin to remove your grey. And then your next appointment, you're going to come in and we're going to do it wet and tone it.
Okay.
Remove the grey. And then your third appointment, we do a root.
Oh, cool.
And then after the root, we're doing the highlights again.
Okay.
So the root is like the last thing that we do.
Interesting.
Before we do the highlights again to get you that much further. When the greys have been around for so long that they're too much, there's too many there. And doing it this way prolongs our highlights and lets them actually do their job of blending. Because what happens is you get highlights and then you're getting a root in 4 weeks. You're covering up the blend. The blend doesn't stay.
And then you see the line.
And then you see the line and the highlights are down here. They're not actually doing anything to blend those
And then
grays.
you do the root here and it looks like dark highlight.
And then it grows out solid again. And it's this constant thing that we're chasing. And I think that it's more like rather than one technique, it's like planning ahead and making a series of appointments. And once we are doing it, we can maybe adjust. Actually, we can't do the toner like one time. We have to do a partial root because that bugs you a bit more. And we customize it as your grays come through. But my goal for you is in 4 weeks for you not to be like, my roots.
First things first, what you're going to want to do is go through the hair thoroughly and assess where there is the most grays, where you have a high percentage of grays, and where you have mostly natural. Then you're going to do a contoured baby light application where the hair is the most gray. Teeny tiny baby lights will replicate the natural gray hair, so that is super, super important. If you want to know my placement and watch a full tutorial of how I do this baby light initial service for my client, then make sure to subscribe to my subscription only page.
For my modern blur at the basin, I am going to be using 4N Deer Color for my tap. This is going to replicate her natural and tap and blur about 50% of the grey on wet hair with 15 volume. I am using the natural level of her base colour, which is the key to a modern blur application. It with 15 vol, and that is going to ensure that we get coverage on wet, but I don't want full coverage. We only want a blur. We're going to mix 1 to 1. The really awesome thing about Deer Color is that the consistency is much thicker than Deer Richesse. Can you see? It's so creamy. It's like a mix between Deer Richesse and a Noah.
The key to a successful modern blur application is to assess where the hair has more grey and apply a different formula. So where she has a higher percentage of grey, aka around her hairline, I'm sectioning that out and applying a different formulation. In the face frame, I like to do it 2 levels lighter than the natural base color if there is more than 50% of grey, and add gold into my formula. This ensures a really beautiful blend, but not deepening away all of those beautiful highlights that we've created, and making sure that our application is super thorough and it's only going on as a tap and the very, very start of the root. This precise application is the key to a successful modern blur. I'm going to show you how I literally get the tiniest amount of product on my brush so that I can tap super effectively without covering up those baby lights, but creating that beautiful blurred root effect. I have over an hour's worth of footage of this entire transformation, step by step, every single process, and I've been creating so much modern blur content so that you can recreate this with ease, to make sure that you know all of the steps and to really master this modern blur approach. Sign up and become one of my subscribers for exclusive step-by-step content so that you too can master this look.